What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 72 of Let's Build the U.S.S. Voyager tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we've got about a 15-minute episode. We're going to be picking up right where we left off. We were working on the bridge. We're going to be popping on the outside of the bridge, closing up the holes that we have now. From the last episode, and then we'll be making our way down to the pylons and adding in some other detail. So without further ado, let's kick back, relax, we're going to dive right into this. So, easy thing at this point, I'm just going to use half slabs in this clear and just close it up. Not doing anything fancy here, just going to close it. If I want to make any changes, we'll do that later on. This little extra detailing here that ended up happening when we were working on the inside of the ship, you said just swap that out for half slabs. Very, very cut and dry. Not a lot that we need to do right there. That's looking pretty good. I mean, it is a little bit plain with that U shape in between that and the very middle of where the bridge is, but it also doesn't look bad. I don't know if we necessarily need to do anything else right there. Sometimes less is more, because especially when you're looking at Voyager, this is something that you notice. Voyager does not have a lot of details, so just kind of want to be conscious of that. Now, one thing I am doing, you see I have a gray block that's showing up on the outside because when we were adding in those shelf consoles on each side of the bridge, so I've swapped those out for the light gray concrete, and we'll address that later on when we come back to the interior. Alright, so now we're going to be slightly shifting gears. We're going to be getting rid of this gray line that's going down the center of our saucer. We're just going to be getting rid of it. And basically what I'm considering at this point is swapping out those darker gray blocks for the white concrete, but I don't know how I'm feeling about that. Could even do, instead of just swapping those out, doing a row of white concrete directly behind it, because again, this will be kind of going with our pattern that we have on the saucer as we go from transition from row to row, so that might not look bad. Now, I did briefly talk about this when we were adjusting the layering on the top of the saucer, that I made a couple of mistakes and that we were going to be coming back to fix that. We're going to do that in episode 73. So don't think that I'm going to leave you guys hanging on that. We are going to get that done with season 1 of Voyager. But we really are getting to the tail end of this tutorial series. What the heck happened to my video? There we go. We've only got a couple more episodes left. 79 is going to be the last one. So I'm recording both of these videos back to back, 72 and 73, and then the following week will be 74 and 75, then 76 and 77, and then finally 78 and 79. So we've only got a few weeks left of content for Voyager before we'll be officially wrapping up season 1. Kind of crazy. We've been working on this thing for a while now, but all things considered, I'm really happy with how Voyager turned out. And, you know, I'm hoping that I'll be fortunate enough to do a season 2 of Voyager. We'll have to see how it goes once I get the full season out, because I do know that there's some people out there, they're waiting for season 1 to finish before they jump into it. So we'll just have to play it by ear to see how that's going to go. But even if, worst case scenario, if season 2 doesn't happen, we've gotten enough done on season 1 that I think somebody could easily come in and finish what we set out to do, because the groundwork has already been done in season 1 as far as setting a lot of that stuff up, getting the floor foundations done for the circular corridors. I mean, that's all there. Just haven't fleshed it out. Um, so we'll see what happens. Now you're gonna notice on this layer right here, some of the patterning it's not matching up. I'm gonna try to kind of spin my tires just a little bit right here, but you know what? Um, we're gonna be adjusting all of these rows that we had previously added on anyway in the next episode. We're going to be redoing it the way that I intended to do it originally with Voyager, but I made a mistake and I should have gotten the process down a little bit more off camera before I started applying it in my tutorials. And that was just honest to God the mistake I had made. So that's why it was a little bit more confusing when we were working on the transition points for these 3 rows of cuts that we have going on top of the saucer here. But when we jump into 73, you guys will see how that process is going to go moving forward for how I do my saucers and showing you guys the proportions and how to put that in your pixel circle generator. I think it's just going to be a heck of a lot easier now going forward, and not only am I going to apply that to Voyager, but that'll be on all my tutorials going forward. So it'll be cool. Just one little bit of detail in as far as getting better as a builder. Well, not necessarily as a builder, but getting better at doing these tutorials, getting better at explaining things. Because I'll be the first one to admit I am not perfect. I make mistakes just like anybody else, and sometimes doing these tutorials are a lot harder than some people might realize, because it's not so easy sometimes explaining your full process, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, how am I going to explain how I built this thing from beginning to end? So I try my best to do that for you guys, and it seems like for the most part it is working, because I see you guys sharing your builds on the Discord, and I see those beautiful ships that you guys are doing, not only from the tutorials that I've done, but you guys have also, I've seen some people doing their own builds, and it's cool because I see the DNA with the patterns that people use, and it's like, okay, you know, that's actually pretty cool. It seems like what I'm doing with the channel is rubbed off on people in a good way, and they're starting to learn at least how I build my ships, and it's benefiting them. But with that being said, there's always room for improvement. So anytime I see that, you know, I try to jump on it and get a little bit better as we go. But I don't think we're doing too bad. All things considered, Voyager is turning out to be an awesome build. We've still got some stuff to do. We're not done yet, but we are slowly getting there. We're at the final stretch here. And then once we're done with Voyager, we'll be diving into the Excelsior 2 class, and I suspect also the Enterprise A 2.0, because we're less than 50 subscribers away from 1,000, and once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be diving into that tutorial. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We're looking pretty good. Just swapping out some of the blocks right here from the light gray to the white concrete kind of lightens it up. Notice on Voyager, when you're looking at the ship, she doesn't have a lot of those dark lines. It works for the phaser emitters, and it works for the circuit board paneling that's on the ship. But outside of that, we don't want to have a lot of dark colors going on this ship, if we can help it. At least that's my point of view on it anyway. Somebody else might have a different opinion, and you know, to each his own. That's one of the beautiful things about shipbuilding, is that you know, if you're not feeling what I'm doing here, you could do whatever you want. So I do want to talk briefly about what I just did right here is you're probably going to ask me what the placement is. And essentially what I did is that I'm going to stretch this piece out, going all the way up to this cut line here. So you can actually count it out right here. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're going to be adding 13 blocks additional, building off of our half slabs going forward. You just want to stretch that out a little bit. It's a little bit too short. And you know, with that being said, if you're happy with the length of this piece, you don't have to adjust it. You know, you don't like how it looks, make whatever change you want to make to it. I do think that this is a pretty cool feature on the ship. You know what I don't, because with this area that we're working on right now, this is an extension of basically an impulse engine. And what I thought was kind of cool with this design on Voyager is it almost looks like there's like an intake scoop that is bringing in space dust, or whatever you want to call it, into the impulse engines. At least that's how it looks to me anyway. So I just thought that that was a cool design, how they did that. It kind of had like a sports car feel to it, I guess. But very different. You don't really see that within starships like that. And at this point, what we're doing right here, this is not difficult to do. Anybody can do this. We're just taking our existing template and we're stretching it out. So when you break it down like that, and you think of it like this, all your hard work is already done. We've already designed the pattern of this thing. At this point, we're just stretching it out a little bit to make it look a little bit better. And this is why I say stop and plan out what you're going to do beforehand, because when you do that and plan things out, sometimes it's going to make your builds come out that much better. It's always good to have a plan, and you know, it's like Hannibal King says, I love it when a plan comes together. See, that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. I like the more stretched out look. Now the one downside to that is that we might need to add some detailing on the sides of it, but we're just going to have to see how it looks. So basically what we'll do is once we get this side done, we'll zoom out, we'll take a look at it, and we'll make an assessment of it. Figure out, you know, does it actually look better like this, or do we want to keep it as it was? And you might even be thinking to yourself, well, I don't even know if I want to make this change. And if I do, and what if I decide I don't like it? Make a duplicate save. This way, if you go and you decide to make this change and you're on the fence about it, and you decide that you don't like it, you can just revert to your previous save file. This way you don't have to spend all that time deleting and trying to end up where you were. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. It's got a couple more rows to do, and then we'll be caught up. See, to me, that looks so much better with it stretched out like that. Yeah, that looks so much better. This is why I definitely encourage, analyze your builds. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes a solution doesn't always present itself, and you kind of have to just take a step back and just look at the thing to try to figure out what's going to work, And then even then, sometimes you may not come up with the solution, and it's like, well, you know what? I need to step away for a minute. That's the best thing to do. If you're not sure what you want to do, just step away from it for a bit, come back with a fresh set of eyes, and then try to tackle the problem again. So I think what we're going to do now, as I was talking about on the sides, it looks a little bit plain. So basically what I'm going to do to get around that, I'm going to take that same panel that was there, and I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm just going to add another one. And see how it looks. Except you want to make sure that you use your half slabs there like I did if you want to keep it matching up. Don't want to use a full block because then everything won't match up as good. Because you'll have one row with half slabs and everything else, you'll have one section with full blocks, and then all these other panels that we've made will be half slabs. So I want to make sure that that matches up, regardless of which direction you go in. Yeah, see, that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. I'm not saying it's perfect. There's room for improvement. And there's always going to be areas that you can improve on as a builder. This is something that I've just embraced. Because at the end of the day, I've learned over a period of time that it's just a long learning experience, at least for me anyway. But no, that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good. So I think we've got a good base. Well, not base, but we're slowly but surely getting our details in and just layering it on one layer at a time, getting these details done. We had a good base to start with, and now we're bringing out all those details to make this build come to life. But I think that's going to do it for us today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. And if you did enjoy this content, if you could help me out, hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you guys enough for that. Also, if you have any questions regarding today's episode, be sure to drop a comment below. Definitely love hearing from everybody, or any builds you want to see. You can also join the Discord, and I'll have a link in the description below. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. I just want to thank you all again, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Post your photos in the Discord.